Hello all. Alright, another beautiful sunny day here in California. The fog is already lifted and we're ready to do another video. Yet this morning on the news, not very much news about it, but another mass shooting, this time 20 people shot. We haven't gotten the death count or anything, but there's endless thoughts and prayers here in the US for the people that die and get shot up by guns. But we're not going to do anything about it. So let's go up here and do an environmental video on why we're going to cause the environmental disaster that's coming to come even faster. Okay, many people have told me that I'm very optimistic that humans will be around in 2100. Well, they don't understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that science says that we can be here by 2100 if we do certain things, which we are not. And here's an example of why we're not doing these. Texas Republicans here in the US argue throughout the Biden presidency that the administration's effort to tackle climate change threatened to upend the state's fossil fuel industry. So they finally get it. That's exactly what we're trying to do, which generates hundreds of billions of dollars every year. But environmental groups are now accusing those politicians, many of whom are advocates for free market capitalism, of being hypocritical with their attacks on clean energy. Now let's remember that Texas has the most clean energy anywhere in the US. They have the most solar and wind power. These bills will subsidize those dirty energy sources at a big cost to consumers and the environment. Folks at the Texas legislature used to speak of the importance of not picking winners and losers in the energy marketplace. Well, that's exactly what these bills do. So what's happening is the Republicans are putting in endless bills to kill clean energy and save fossil fuels in their state. The state of Texas is dispensing with free market to stabilize polluting power plants and discriminating against wind and solar energy. In the last year alone, GOP lawmakers in Texas have introduced legislation that will prohibit cities or counties from banning gas hookups in newly constructed buildings. So what that means is that if you build a new building, you can't bring gas into the building. You have to use electricity, which can be made from clean energy. And that's why they're trying to phase out gas hookups in new construction. Eliminate the state's remaining tax credits for renewable, prevent insurance companies from considering climate-related investments when setting consumer rates, and increasing the cost of register electric vehicles and hybrid cars in the state. So they're trying to get rid of any kind of incentive to go green energy. One especially peculiar bill would prohibit local governments from banning gasoline-powered leaf blowers, lawnmowers, and other landscape equipment. The bill was introduced after Dallas officials announced last year that the city was considering phasing out, not eliminating altogether right away, but phasing out such equipment as part of its push to become carbon neutral by 2050. So they would phase it out by 2050, not altogether. But the Republicans are saying it's instant now. Of course, they're just going to say anything, any lie, to get people to be against it. These moves, however, should come as no surprise to anyone. After all, Texas has a history of dragging anything remotely related to climate change into the nation's increasing politicization culture wars and calling it woke. So anything green energy or environmentally friendly is considered woke. Texas legislature. Now, let's remember who put the legislators in office. Yeah, it was the people. So it's the people's fault for this going on. In 2021, winter storms in Texas blacked out a good portion of the state. And of course, what do they blame it on? Windmills, wind farms. saying that the ice froze up the turbines. Well, that's just a big fat lie, because turbines are a new technology, and like turbines on planes, they don't ice up. They have coatings on them that keep the ice off of the turbines. And so during the blackout of 2021, the turbines turned just fine and worked just fine. You know what caused the blackouts? It's pretty well a proven fact that it was the gas-fired power plants that failed, and trees falling on power lines, and an inept and outdated power line system throughout Texas that failed. Now, instead of putting all this money into fossil fuels, why doesn't Texas put money into undergrounding all their electricity so that it won't fail during the next storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, and ice storms and snowstorms that come every so often? And they constantly have somebody to blame other than fossil fuel, even though fossil fuel is to blame right at the beginning, and there's no way they can get out of that. However, they're going to tell us that it's woke, and that it's the hippies and the beatniks and the nuts of the environmentalists that are causing the problems with wind turbines. Well, I just can't believe these people. But this is why humanity is headed into disaster beyond 2050 and beyond, is because of stupid legislatures and stupid politicians all over the world that people keep putting in because they don't do their homework to find out which politicians are green and which ones are environmentally friendly, and will put in good legislation and try and deal with gun problems throughout the U.S. and gun legislation. But no, we're just going to continue on down the path that we are and throw out hopes and prayers and continue to pump up the fossil fuel industry and wonder, why can't we grow any food? Because it's too hot? Because the weather's too strong? There's wind? The tornadoes are too many? There's too many big hurricanes, and all of a sudden we don't have enough food to eat, and we overpopulate because the politicians that are in office won't even mention overpopulation. So that's our video today. So it's obvious that humanity is going to destroy its own self with its stupidity on putting in the wrong politicians in office and backing these politicians and believing their woke nonsense. So on a day of 20 people shot here in the U.S., more thoughts and prayers, endless thoughts and prayers, and I appreciate any comments you have on this, the ups and the new subscribers. And until next time, don't forget those thoughts and prayers.